Hello, guys. I'm really glad to see all of you here, and I have noticed so many questions already in the chat. Please confirm that you can hear me and you can see me, as this is very important. I do have this phobia, like that I'm speaking and you're not able to hear or to see me. Let me know if everything is fine. And of course, hello to everyone that is watching. Works. Thank you very much. And I would like to start with a request because so many of you give me very wise advice. So, number one is if you like this stream, do like it because it helps me to grow the audience of the channel. And this is really important to make people hear and know more about Ukraine as this war continues. And it is extremely important for the world not to get used to this fact, not to think it's something normal, something we can live with and continue. And I see that there are many questions already, and I always feel bad if I ignore some questions and then I reread them. Also, feel free to post your ideas as to my future vlogs, as this helps me to, answer the questions that are important for you for the understanding of Ukraine and the situation here right now. And one of the questions, I would like to start with this announcement of Lavrov, who actually said that they are trying to free Ukrainian people, and we all see the consequences of this Russian understanding of freedom. And I do believe that in the modern world, civilized people cannot treat Russia as a normal state. And I have found among the comments, by the way, I have learned to pronounce the word properly, if I'm not mistaken. So I have found in the comments actually the information that it is likely that maybe soon the United States will announce Russia a terrorist state. And I do think this is a totally legitimate and totally logical decision that we can wait from the world in general. And let me scroll to the top of the questions and concentrate on the things that you were asking me. Well, one question is definitely, that I have started to attract Russian trolls, and perhaps this is a good thing because this demonstrates that the things that I'm saying are actually important and useful. So the question is very likely to that: why can't we let people in the eastern parts of Ukraine decide what to do? Because this is not the decision of people who live in the eastern parts of Ukraine. We all know that starting from 2014, this was the annexation and the military special operation of Russia in Ukraine. And all of these troops, all of these tanks, all these weapons that were used there, they are Russian. So Russia likes to fund various separatist movements. And by the way, I want to tell you that in many countries all over the world, not only in Ukraine, but in many EU countries, they also try to finance and to support various evil movements just to destabilize countries. So definitely, if you call it a referendum in Crimea or in Donbass, these were not real referendums because they were conducted with just one question. They were conducted because Russia and Russia-funded separatists wanted that. And also, they were conducted with weapons behind those who were voting. Definitely, it's not a normal atmosphere for a referendum. And also, look at this Donbass, Crimea right now. Are these dream places? How many of you, dear Russian trolls, have visited these places, stayed there for vacation, spent some time in a restaurant, or whatever? Well, we all realize that the life in the territories that are occupied by Russia, by the so-called republics, the life is really bad. And I do think that many people who were more or less pro-Russian in Ukraine, after seeing life in Donbass, in Luhansk, realize they don't want Russian world, Ruski Mir, because it all brings only evil, evil, and evil. What do I think will be the future of Russian language in Ukraine? I think that the future of Russian language in Ukraine will be similar to the future of other foreign languages in Ukraine, because Russian is a foreign language. Many people know Russian. I know Russian. Many people are bilingual, but again, it was not our choice. It was a typical behavior for a Soviet, post-Soviet school to introduce people to Russian language, to Russify people, and very often higher education, career was only possible after Russian. It's very similar to various colonies, than many empires, many big countries, they have their empires. So Russia treated Ukraine as its part, and definitely many of our regions were Russified. And now many people who speak Russian language fight for Ukraine. And we have this saying that it's not important what language you speak, or it's not important what language your parents speak, but it is very important what language your children speak. And more people, even those who are Russian speaking, now switch to Ukrainian because they don't want to speak the same language with the people who kill them. And I definitely see that this de-Russification process sped up or speeded up very quickly after this Russian invasion, something totally contrary to what Putin actually expected. So, do you have a washing machine? Perhaps you're not asking me, because I do have, as a normal Ukrainian, I do have a washing machine. It's although not very attractive for Russian orcs, but I guess this is a very nice comment to ask a person who, like, to tell you the truth, I enjoy reading comments of Russian orcs and trolls. I am not easy to irritate. I'm pretty reserved, and I like reading many of the comments because they are very primitive. They repeat themselves. It is all very cliche style. It does not surprise me, To be a good speaker or to be a good writer, you have to like invent something fresh, and they have problems with that. Okay, yeah. So thank you for joining the live stream. That's important. And greetings to Spain. Oh, it started to jump. Now, have you stopped attacking Ukrainian territory other than Donbass? I guess you're asking Russians, right? So no, they did not stop doing that. And good. Hello from Canada. This is my first YouTube live I could watch. What do you think of Ukrainians flee to other countries? Well, there is a reason for Ukrainians to flee from other countries, because it's dangerous. We are at war. And I am not a person who was interested or who was eager to escape, because for me, it's very difficult to be far away from my country when something really bad happens to it. And I wanted to, it's important for me to know what is going on here. And I have told you previously that once in 2014, 15, I was abroad in Lithuania when something really bad happened here. It was a little bit hot, and we were afraid that the borders will be closed. And I felt so nervous because I wanted to return back to Ukraine. Many people who flee Ukraine, these are women with children, and they want to protect children from all these sounds of sirens. And you know that there are lots of semi-safe zones in Ukraine, but you can never be sure everything will be all right. For example, in Vinnytsia, civilians were targeted in a medical center, and lots of mothers and children died, and they felt totally safe when they were visiting that hospital, that medical center. Perhaps they did not have an idea something similar can happen to them. So from one point of view, I do feel that I have lost connection with some of my friends. I do feel that, for example, my region is more or less safe. And if I were, like, I don't know, a mother or something, I would not leave this place, because I believe it's less okay to stay here, because you can die like anywhere. But I do not judge people. But I do think it's better when the refugees are those who leave really hot zones. And in the majority of cases, it is like that. Many people have already come back to, to see, because they saw that it's safer, because it's difficult for them to live abroad. And moreover, what is also important, people start discovering life abroad, and they realize that it is not always a fairy tale or something like that. Did you see the 1420 channel video where he walked around Russia asking people they liked orcs? I know about this channel, and I'm very grateful to my subscribers because you educate me a lot. But I think this is a soft Russian propaganda channel. It's good. it's not that toxic, but it is still soft Russian propaganda. It's not like real life in Russia. I doubt things like that are possible now to transmit. Greetings to Germany. Do you know the main source of information your students use about war in Ukraine? Well, like they use, I hope that my students are smart enough and they, like, we teach them media literacy, you know, and to be media literate, you have to use different sources. So our students, they have access to various resources. And of course, these are top media websites, because I doubt they watch TV, but like Ukrainska Pravda, Cenzor, like, I don't know, BBC Ukraine, they can also access to English speaking things. By the way, before this war, I was also very active at reading, I don't know, Politico, CNN, BBC, and I always felt very like anxious after reading that, but it turned out to be true. So it was like my normalcy bias, something that you've told me about, this psychological trick. And I often use this phrase right now. It's not that popular in Ukraine, but definitely this is a trick that Russia played with us and with the rest of the world. So in general, students read like online media. I don't think they're very active on Facebook. Telegram is another popular channel of information, and they subscribe very often. TikTok, if it works, I cannot spend time there, but like I gave up on TikTok. But have you seen the YouTube? Yeah, I'm answered the question. Greetings to Minnesota. Yeah, I hope I will be swimming on the beaches of Crimea soon. I have been to Crimea once in Sevastopol, and it is very close to Khersones, which is an ancient city, and there are lots of important ancient locations, remains that look really beautiful. I did not manage to learn much about Crimea, so I do hope that soon we will be able to spend some time there in Ukrainian Crimea, and I do believe it has a great potential to be a resort, not a military base with this, like, you know, iron water that does not look good, does not attract much swimmers. By the way, I have watched some hidden YouTube videos where they ask people in Crimea, and they seem to be very like optimistic because they do want to return back to mainland Ukraine, if you can say it. Thank you for that wish. Yeah, it's important to find misinformation online. I agree with you. And I'm very grateful to those of you who report Russian trolls. Don't quarrel with them. Don't spend much time on quarreling with them, because but I do like many of you have this very smart and very funny phrases to detect these orcs. And when I read it, I always like it, and it makes me smile. Greetings to Los Angeles. Yeah, is it me? An official ambassador? Thank you, I'm honored. And greetings to Netherlands. Have you ever considered running for political office in Ukraine? Yes, when I was young and stupid. Yeah, once, yeah, I'm ambitious, you know. And when I was younger, I wanted to be like a president or a prime minister or something like that. But then I realized I want a different kind of power, when people like you for what you are, not for the position you occupy. So maybe if we join the EU, I will try to become a member of European Parliament or something like that. But I'm joking. You know, I want to be a writer, and I do enjoy my YouTube experience. So if you like, I don't know. I have discovered this YouTube under really bad conditions, you know, and I never expected my channel to grow so fast. I know I'm not just super great YouTuber, but I'm so grateful for the audience that I have, and I value all the comments that you leave, all the advice that you give so many smart people. I feel like proud of myself that I've managed to attract so many smart people, and that's important. So maybe I'm more interested in some cultural diplomatic positions, not just like, look at Zelensky, he looks really bad. I don't want to repeat his, like, it's difficult to be a president of Ukraine. Are dachas still important for urban Ukrainian families to grow vegetables? No, not that much. We have never had dacha, but this is a concept that is quite popular, and many people still have them. The majority did not buy them, but inherited from parents or grandparents. But now more and more people use it for barbecue, sunbathing, or something like that, not for growing tomatoes, or something like that, because it's kind of difficult, expensive, takes much time, and things like that. But dacha is like, everyone knows what that is, and you can often get invited to that. But this millennial generation, I guess they are not that huge fans of dachas anymore. Okay. But that's an interesting question. Like, I have friends who have dachas with tomatoes. I don't know. Black currants. Black currant jam is very popular in Ukraine because it's good when you have cold, and many people like it. My mom does it. Okay. Thank you for my reply. Okay. I have lost. Sorry, I have to scroll because it moves so quickly, and I don't want to lose. Oh, can I teach you Ukrainian using Zoom? Well, I don't know. I have never thought. English is my profession, I'm not that good in Ukrainian. Well, I speak good, but I don't teach Ukrainian. Like, oh my God, scrolled so many questions. Greetings to Madrid and to Vancouver. And okay, have I prepared an escape plan if necessary? I know that is my friend already asking, and I know your name, but I won't call your name. No, I'm stupid enough not to have it, but I'm very adaptable, so chances I will survive. I believe nothing really bad will happen to my region. And but of course I have some ideas what I can do when something really bad happens, but the real plan I don't. I have my documents and money packed. I won't show you what's in my bag, there's popular videos, but the real true escape plan, no, I don't have one. I hope I won't need it, but maybe. I know that would be smarter. Greeting to South Africa. Thank you very much. I'm really glad that I have subscribers from so many different locations in the world. Yeah, Ukrainian armed forces are very important, and we are very much proud of them. And greetings to UK, Vancouver, and the United States. Someone, Fernando, you have lived 12 years in Ukraine, and I left last January to my birthday, Venezuela. Winter was supposed, yeah. March was not the best month to come back, but greetings to Venezuela from Ukraine. And I know you have lots of world beauty contests. Your women always win them. And I do hope it will be safe to return back to Ukraine sometime soon. And let me know if you liked it. But as you have spent 12 years, I guess you did. So I do hope soon it will be possible to come back here. And thank you for viewers from the United Kingdom. I know there are many of them, and I'm really honored because, I've studied your language at school, and the United Kingdom was always a magical, very traditional place. And by the way, I have tea. I like tea, and I have tea with me, so that's British, I guess, too. Thank you for being with Ukraine and for supporting us. And do you know that Boris Johnson planned to visit Kiev again? I think that is a good idea. We watch many videos with Boris Johnson. I had a separate video, and you've told me many interesting things about the private life of Boris Johnson and jokes. And I'm really grateful for this information that you provide me with, because I'm still in this Ukrainian informational bubble, and to be able to think and consider everything, well, it's important for me to get the context. And I'm so grateful when you tell me there's details that build a better portrait. But despite the fact that he's not very serious and good for the United Kingdom, he was extremely important for Ukraine, and he will always be loved here. Plus, I like reading him, and we will be glad to see him. Recently, we watched a video with him in the United Kingdom and territorial defense, Teroborona or something. And we have jokes like he can become our next prime minister. So Did you witness some fighting or explosions? I did not. Well, like real fighting, I did, but not with Russian orcs. And but explosions in at the beginning of this war, not later. At the beginning of this war, and I have already told it and repeated it so far. One of the greatest impressions that I had was when I woke up on one of the first nights and I heard a very weird sound, like a tractor or something riding the sky. And then I had heard an explosion and I realized this was the sound of missile flying. And for me, this is something totally abnormal when these objects are flying in the sky. Cannot explain you that some on subconscious level or something. For me, it's something totally wrong. So, do you know? No, just the same question. Thank you. How the challenges of the current conflict increased your face? I don't like to call it a conflict. For me, it's a war, and for the world, it's a war. And it did make my face stronger because of various things happening in my life. And when you see this really vivid border between black and white, you feel the presence of God. I am not like that traditional, like I will not go every Sunday to the church, but I feel the presence of, there are moments when I feel the presence of God and I can talk to him. And during the war, there are many beautiful things that there are many ugly things that I have discovered about people, and many beautiful things. And even if you're not in the hot zone, there are lots of thoughts that visit you, and these are the thoughts you would have. I'm trying to build a difficult construction. You would have never thought without this war. So I do think it will change us, and there will be lots of people who will change for the worse, and lots of people who will change for the best. Greetings to Croatia, and I know you know much about our experience, and we are very grateful for the countries who share their experience and support. And neighboring bully, by the way, I like this phrase a lot, like bully, a really bloody bully. Do you think that, yes, Kherson will be liberated soon? We need Kherson. We need, like, this is a very beautiful city, though I have never been there, but I've heard lots of stories. This is a very beautiful agricultural region. It's very pro-Ukrainian, like people have no doubt they want to be a part of Ukraine. There are lots of records when they describe how they hate being under Russia. So I do hope that soon Kherson will become a part of Ukraine. And as far as I know, it's not just like my optimism or desire for it to be okay, but there are some real facts, and lots of Russian orcs have already left the region. So it's very likely they will come back. We will come back. Greetings to Texas. Thank you very much for calling it a show, like your show. But like, I feel like someone like a Friday night show. Thank you. So you have a friend who lives in Krasnodon. Her father was in the local hospital until the invasion. Yeah. Many people's life are interrupted by this war, and of course it's very important to realize like how many tragedies and problems it all brings here, and all of that. The question about teaching Ukrainian, I don't know, like, but I can introduce you to some good people who teach Ukrainian. Okay, I did not guess this question. Completely driving Russia out of Ukraine and geopolitically crushing Russia and Putin is the only answer. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't see any other solution to this war, just the fall of the Putin's regime. No kind of negotiation or saving Putin's face or something like that. This is totally impossible after all this after this genocide against Ukrainian people, after so many crimes not only targeted at Ukrainians but also globally. Think about all these terroristic threats that they throw at the world, starting from like, I don't know, grain crisis and finishing with gas. They all terrify us with cold winter, that people will forget about Ukraine when it gets cold. So they are terrorists. And as long as Putin is at rule, it's impossible to live safe and sound in this world. And also keep in mind that They have this nuclear weapons, they will threaten forever. So I do think that it's important for Putin's regime to fall, for him to be, I don't know, hanged, killed, poisoned, whatever you liked. And also, it would be good if Russia could collapse, because Russia is not like, it's very artificial. There are lots of beautiful nations, beautiful peoples that were suppressed by Russia, and they did not have like normal choice, and they had to obey Russian rules. So I do hope one day they will become independent, and the Moscow region will stay Russia, and other beautiful countries will appear. Most toxic vlogger is now Ellie from Russia. Well, I don't follow Russian vloggers. I don't like to listen so much about sanctions, you know. But maybe. Greetings from rainy Sweden. We love Sweden, you know. We have so many connections with Sweden, Viking times, and today, like Sweden, Finland, these are the countries we often talk about. And I have like my sentiments, if it's okay to say. So, greetings to Sweden. And do you think that relations between Ukraine and Russia will ever be okay again? Do you think that families on both sides will be able to accept each other again? Yes, in 100 years. Well, it all depends on the future of Russia, you know. Like, we had the Nazi regime, and also we all like Germany, and I feel that this is one of the most democratic countries. So things can change, but it's very important for Russia to interrupt its history of dictatorships. You know, like every century they produce something totally awful. Look at like Stalin, the way they killed the Tsar. I'm not a fan of Russian empire, because it was also a problem for my country. Like, come on, they always produce something ugly, something awful. That's a problem. So I think a really hard job must be done to Russian society, and to make them, I don't know if it's possible, by the way. I'm trying to be like European and tolerant, but I don't know how possible that is. So only after the society is cured, and now it's very toxic, it's very poisoned. I do know there are some good Russians that are not dead Russians, some good alive Russians, but the percentage is really, really small. And for us to be able to talk again, for families to be able to reunite, they have to like understand their crimes. They have to feel sorry for their crimes. They has to be discussed. This has to be cured, and only after that a dialogue can begin. And I don't think this can happen in the near future. At least I don't see it that way. Okay. Thank you very much, and greetings to Italy. I won't be able to read, but South part seems like a very hot part, but a beautiful part. Thank you. Ukrainian here, have a nice stream. Thank you. Greetings to Ukrainians. I'm really glad when Ukrainians join the stream, because the more Ukrainians, the merrier, you know. Are you seeing any reconstruction of damages caused by the invaders of foreign army? What do you mean? Well, I don't believe Russia will give us any money. Thank you for buying me coffees online. That is like super fast. But like, I don't work for coffees, but that definitely inspires me. So it's so early to speak about the reconstructions, because they continue destroying. I do like this question that we will rebuild Ukraine. Ukraine will become better, bigger, but come on, guys, we have to stop them first, because these destructions, they continue. They ruin our cultural heritage. They ruin our infrastructures. And Russia can have default because of sanctions, and we can have default because of war. And being strong, being brave, being optimistic, believing that we will win, we're still suffering, and we're still dying, and we're still losing. And that is a serious problem. I don't believe Russia will give any money. Only after Putin's regime falls, only after funds are arrested, and various supranational organizations will help us to get this money, like from Russian oligarchs, from various Russian enterprises. That's the only thing I see. That's the only way I see it. Yeah, I don't talk about Trump and other people, because once again, I'm not an expert in the politics in the United States, and I sometimes receive contrary comments. You know, some people will say like Trump is a buddy of Putin. and others say Trump will come and he will change the situation for the better. Personally, I don't like Trump, honestly. But like, I believe in people of America because this is the land of freedom. And I know you have lots of problems because, like, everybody has. But in general, I do believe in the support of the countries like that who teach us, who showed us the democracy. Okay, this will be a bad question. Anna, where do you see the end game for Ukraine in the war with Russia? Will Ukraine or Russia win? Do you see the US with boots on the ground in Ukraine? Oh, it's not that bad. Well, I see that we have to win in this war, because if we don't win in this war, like, this will continue forever. We were fighting with Russia like for 300 years, and this has got to be our final fight. And the world is with us. At the beginning of this war, people frightened us that when US comes and put their boots, as you've said it, Ukraine will turn into a battlefield. Well, congratulations. We are already a battlefield. So I don't see it's a problem for, I don't see it's a problem for them to join. I would like NATO to join. I think that can get a hotter war, but once again, I don't think that Putin's decision to nuke or not to nuke the world depends on NATO coming to Ukraine. It depends on his disease. Okay, greetings to Australia. You watch us at 3 a.m. Well, I also often wake up and at weird times at night, so 3 a.m. I drink for you. Thank you. That's an honor. Will speaking Russian be accepted by tourists after war, or will it be only Ukrainian which should be used? No, we have lots of people speaking Russian. Even in, for example, my part of Ukraine is very Ukrainian speaking, but there are lots of people who speak Russian everywhere and they feel normal. Many of them want to switch into Ukrainian, but people are not aggressive towards Russian language. People may be aggressive towards the things you say. If you will come to Ukraine and say that Putin is great, you will have problems. But if you will ask for coffee in Russian, you won't have problems at all. So greetings to Los Angeles, and thank you for wishing us victory. That's very important. Most roles are hired to command. There are lots of them from Moldova too, especially from Transnistria. Yeah, I know that Transnistria is this magical region that was also lost, but will be returned back to Moldova, I believe. And of course, I know they do it for money. And many of them are just not real people, but machines who react to various words and algorithms. I realize that, but the attention, of this machines, that money they spend on their comments, that is already a sign of respect that you're doing something good. So in general, I don't think it's a problem. Good. Is it safe to study in as small as your university, Odessa Medical University? Well, these are good universities with their traditions, and you know that I work in education too in Ukraine, so I don't feel it's kind of something bad. But I cannot tell you it's safe right now, because when you watch the news about Kharkiv, for example, they have targeted recently, less than maybe a week or something close to that. They have targeted the university. They have destroyed many universities. So how can I say it's safe? It should have been safe, but it's not. Maybe it will change. Like most of the universities work distantly. COVID prepared us for that, and we now are able to continue that way. So after the war is finished, then it will be safe to come back. Yeah, thank you for being and paying attention to the things that are happening in Ukraine. It's very that is a funny question. Do you need help with hanging your mirror? I guess I do. Thank you. Will you come? Will you come and help? By the way, this shows that I'm a bad person. No, no, not a bad person. I'm not very good at organizing my home life. Yeah, I want a different mirror, with white frame. This one is with brown frame. So that's a funny question. Thank you. I understand your skepticism, but I think, yeah, maybe, I don't doubt, maybe this 1420 is a normal channel. I would like to believe it's a normal channel. So let it be. Let it be. Uh, okay. I immigrated to the USA when I was 7. I can remember my parents always wishing that they were back in their birth country all the times for the 10 years. Most Ukrainians will return soon. Yeah, thank you. I do believe so. I also have a family history of immigration and then returning back, like traveling every 20 years from one continent to another continent, make us adventurous. Thank you for liking the stream if you like it. And I do think that, many people have this dream of, I always like traveling. I would like to see many places. I can imagine myself living somewhere for a year or more, but I wouldn't like to leave my country forever. And I do believe that many of them will return back. And many people who thought their dream is to live abroad somewhere in Europe, Ukraine is Europe, somewhere in the world, in the EU. They see that life is a little bit different and they see it in the movies, and they want to come back. I fly the Ukrainian flag on my house. My car and my house is open to any Ukrainian refugees. What else can individuals do to help? Well, first of all, thank you very much for helping the Ukrainian refugees, opening your doors to people you don't know, people who can be complicated, people who can be nervous because they come from a really complicated situation, even if they are not from, I don't know, really hot zones, because they leave their homes, they leave their lives, they leave their parts of their families. That is always a very complicated thing. And I think one thing that you can do, it's very important in various conversations to continue supporting Ukraine, because Russian propaganda also works, and it works pretty well for the Western world. They try to various techniques. They use soft propaganda, pretending like everything is okay, maybe let's negotiate and so on. And it's very important to protect. If you can address your politicians, if you can address your senators, your deputies, this is all very important, because in normal democratic world, also in Ukraine, contrary to Russia, politicians are somehow reactive. They have to react on what people want from them. And when you demonstrate that you did not get used to war in Ukraine, that it's not okay for you, then it's very important. So if you can quarrel for Ukraine, if you can support Ukraine, if you can demonstrate that this war is not normal and you did not forget about our country, that is very, very, very important. Does Kiev have a hill? Oh my God. And I've lost the question. Let me scroll up. Guess some people are quarreling with each other, and that is good. Well, maybe I won't scroll it to the up, but I see some people tagging me, so perhaps I should not ignore that. Yeah, hit the like button, everyone watching. I like this. Okay. Good. My question, do you think that there is a possibility of desperate Russian attack on power plant in Rivne and Khmelnytsky? It is close to Polish border, and I guess you're from Poland. Yeah. I think it's possible, but not very possible. With Russians, every crazy idea is possible, But at the moment, I don't think it's very likely. And of course, living very close to Rivne, I'm not the one interested. So many Ukrainians are arriving to Canada. Yeah, I know Canada is a country where lots of Ukrainians find their home and found their home before. So we are very grateful for that. Like Boston is a nice city, someone told me that I have a Boston accent, and the second half I won't answer. Anna Show. Thank you. I will rename the channel. Maybe I have some idea that I would like to make real with my videos, and hopefully I will have time and inspiration to do that. I will continue the vlog, but there is something else I would like to do. Have I ever thought about foreign politics, foreign ambassador? For me, being an ambassador is different from being a politician. A politician has like fights everywhere and quarrel everywhere, and ambassador can be more like about culture talking. So I would like, but definitely I like this cultural politics, informational politics. That's my cup of tea. Um, have you had power, water, or network outages, perhaps in your area because of war? No. We were very much afraid we won't have internet access or something at the beginning of war. We were warned that soon you won't have mobile phones, and we were looking for various, I don't know, applications that can help you call and communicate. But it did not happen so far. I do think we will have a bad winter, and I have to be smart enough, like to have an escape plan and to have a winter plan. And I'm working on that right now. So, like perhaps to prepare for the fact that we won't have enough gas or something. So that's what I'm thinking about. Okay, have you thought of merchandise for your channel? Well, what will you buy, guys? I think about this, but I don't think I'm that great to merchandise something. I'm grateful for the coffees that you buy me. That was a total discovery. I did not know it's possible. You taught me that. I'm also like, but I cannot imagine what other things that you can buy from me. I cannot think that like t-shirts with me are worth something. So any ideas? Thank you. I'm trying to take care of myself. Why do you think Natalia Poklonskaya turned on Ukraine and became a Crimea prosecutor for Putin? Well, I think because she is a traitor. She is a person who wanted to get benefits from her pro-Russian thing. She's a totally like a traitor. People like that who get money, she get the position of this prosecutor, otherwise she would never become a prosecutor. I don't think she was not known, she was not popular. So yeah. So speaking of spiritual transcendence and socio-political analysis, yeah, I do like it when you spell Putin with double O. It's like a tree in the forest that looks strong, but when the wind blows, it falls over because yeah, definitely, this is an image. When people say that Putin has this toxic masculinity, I see he's toxic, but I don't see masculinity at all, I'm glad you like streams, so do I. Somebody's cat stopped on the keyboard. Greetings to the cat. What sort of things do you wish to write? Fiction. Well, I write for newspapers. I have some vlogs, but I also have some fiction, or close to fiction. Like, I don't know. I do have some things, and I write them. Okay, you have an urgent question, but I don't see a question. Well, so there is a good advice. So if everyone types Slava Ukraini, Anna, simultaneously, my channel will go geometric. So guys, if you don't mind typing something simultaneously, I don't mind my channel going up because it's very important. Russia that collapses could also be a danger. For example, when it comes to spreading nuclear weapons, maybe it is easier to control one bad guy than other. Well, I don't think that all of these guys that will become presidents of new states on the territory of Russia will be bad. I hope some of them will be normal. Maybe, like, I am an optimist, There is no other way to survive now. Do you know Ukraine is still allowing Russian gas oil pipelines to go through Ukraine? Well, I don't think so. I'm not a specialist in that, but definitely all of the Russian businesses that we could have stopped, we stopped. Maybe there are some international things like when gas travel into Germany, but I'm not an expert. I'm very much afraid to make a mistake here. Who are my favorite writers? Okay. I am a huge fan of Latin American literature. So my favorite writers are Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and I have read all of his books, my honestly, and Mario Vargas Llosa, who I have bought his autobiography, and I'm going to read it right now. Also, I like Ray Bradbury. Magical realism, you see, it's for Olha Tokarczuk, who is a Nobel Prize winner from Poland. He's my favorite writer, and I have some favorite Ukrainian writers, starting from Valerian Pidmohilny, who wrote a very nice novel, The City, and I think it's worth to be translated. Also, like I like short stories like Edgar Poe or something like that, perhaps mystical things. Thank you for the question. um, the problem with carving Russia up is ensuring that each newly created independent country will have enough resources to survive. Yeah, but there are lots of countries who don't have enough resources, who don't have the sea or something, and they still live not normally. Okay, in which city do I live in Ukraine? I live in Lutsk. Lutsk is in the Volhynia region. It's the center of the Volhynia region. It is close to the border with Poland and with Belarus. Greetings to Denmark and Northeast Massachusetts. Greetings to you too. Ukraine do not need to join NATO in the future, but it needs to develop nuclear weapons to prevent Russia from doing this again. Well, I am not a fan of. I would like no countries on planet to have nuclear weapons because this is total absurd. Like to frighten each other with this nuclear weapons. But I do understand you cannot forget about something that was invented. But I am a pro-NATO person. I have to confess. I think NATO is more important even than the EU. But I also like jokes like when you say that one day NATO will join Ukraine. Will there be a replay of this live chat? Yeah. Great, you are on a meeting. Yeah, so do the meeting, and it is saved in my video, so you will be able to watch it later. I don't like the question about Ukrainian documentary YouTube channel. I don't know this channel, but I will definitely look it up. Glory to Ukraine. Thank you. From German experience, repairing the relation between Ukraine and Russia will take 2 generations. Yeah, maybe. I don't think it can happen. I don't think it should happen really quickly. We must take some time. Can you show the correct pronunciation of Kyiv? I keep practicing, but many different pronunciations. Okay. The Russian pronunciation that was very, very popular all over the world. And it was a problem because Ukrainians did not like it. And we were writing petitions, and in many airports and elsewhere it was changed. So the Russian pronunciation was like Kiev. I hate it. And the traditional Ukrainian, in Ukraine, we have a sound that is E. I don't know why many of you cannot feel it. And you start hearing like R or something like that. This is just like a bit. English has this word, it has this sound too. It's not like E, it's a more, I don't know, I'm a linguist, but I don't know. So the correct pronunciation of Kyiv is Kyiv. Kyiv. Kyiv is the capital of Ukraine. Kyiv. We have this sound A. You also have it in some words. I don't know. I cannot come up with this word. It's not this E with short E, but a longer E and more Kyiv. Don't be afraid. Practice makes perfect. My dad told me so. Please. Okay, the YouTube channel. I will look it up. Yeah, I do my job. I continue doing my job. I have a couple of jobs, and that's what I do. Some changes happen. For example, we don't have offline universities, but online is also okay. Yeah, watch my video about Kyiv's anniversary, and I say it Kyiv many times, but I'm always glad to help you and to pronounce it once again. It's getting darker and the light is getting worse. Yeah, that must be Ukraine's final battle. I agree. Greetings from Texas, and thank you for coffee. Thank you. Um, yeah, turning. How about teaching us Ukrainian language online? Tell me, please, how many people want me to teach them Ukrainian language or not online, and I will start thinking about that. Marshall Plan would be really good, but once again, it's too early to speak about that because the war still continues. Um, and Yeah, I do think, yeah, I agree that Ukraine made a big mistake when we gave up our nuclear weapons and we started to believe, like, Budapest Memorandum, that is an example, like, all treaties don't work with Russia and they are not worth the agreement they are signed on. And But what can we do? Only learn on our mistakes. Um, I think when Putin says that this war is a holy war, I think that Putin is a demon. And demons use various techniques to make people believe they are good. They use various techniques, and this is one of them. But you cannot kill hundreds and thousands of civilians, children, and say that this has a holy mission. Of course, it's like, for me, Putin is a Satan. Um, Yeah, the Russian speaking Ukrainians who are proud of being Ukrainians, this is normal. This is something that happens and it's okay. Good. Is a normal course load per semester at your school? Five per semester? That is a difficult question. What do you mean? Like, how many subjects? We have in Ukraine more subjects. We are worse with our students. We do not take care of them, and typically they have like 3, 4 classes per day, and teachers have more classes per week. So this will not be five like subjects. This will be like 11 subjects or something. Um, well, Ukraine could not afford the maintenance of nuke, but Ukraine and Poland, for example, could afford the maintenance of nukes, and that would be good both for Ukraine and for Poland and for Lithuania and for other countries. Do you think that Ukrainians who escaped from war outside Ukraine, especially to Poland, will return after the war? And greetings to the northern part of Ireland. Ireland is a beautiful country. I dream to visit one day. And yeah, I think that many of them will come back. That's what we see right now. Many of them have already come back. Uh, Are you doing this channel while at the same time doing a full-time job? Yes. How will you handle both if the working of your channel explodes? I will switch to a channel because this is very inspirational. Uh, are you ready to make maybe several hundreds of vlogs? Yes. I started liking it, honestly. I did not believe it like that. I did not treat vlogging seriously. And even now, when someone tells me you're a vlogger, I feel like, okay, I'm a PhD. but but I like it a lot. I'm a storyteller. I'm a narrator. That's a part of the things that I do in my life. I loved writing, and now I like telling you. One of the favorite quotes of Marcus that I have was actually his phrase that live to tell, live to tell. And I observe so many things in my life, and I have this urge to share. And I had it before the war about some beautiful, nice things, but maybe it wouldn't have been so interesting for you, like me talking about flowers I saw. And war was a subject that attracted attention and needed this attention because I believe we have this mission to inform the world about what's going on here, how Ukrainians are feeling, some real stories, not statistics, not political or economical information, but some real life stories. So that's what made me start this blog. And that is very important. And I feel very like it's not an inspiration, but this is something that I consider important. I was totally surprised that many people supported and watched me. About university in Kharkiv, I don't live in Kharkiv, but I defended my thesis in Kharkiv, and many of the university buildings in Kharkiv were shelled, bombed, and destroyed by Russian orcs. I cannot say anything. Um, with that. Okay, I see one more person ready to help me with the mirror. Thank you so much. I see it's a problem. I will feel shy, I will try to fix it until tomorrow. Um, okay, I have scrolled it so much, so thank you. Um, Good. If you want to learn Ukrainian for free online, there are some resources. Maybe I will like introduce you to them. I will record a separate video. I will tell you more. Um, will you become? Yeah, I would like to become a Ukrainian minister of culture after war. What's my favorite Ukrainian food? I'm a potato eater. I like potatoes. It's not very romantic, but I like it. I also like borscht. I like pies, various that are also traditional for Ukrainian cuisine. And if you have this question whether I eat salo, like ham, bacon, I do. Uh, yeah, there are lots of people on YouTube who teach Ukrainian, and good. You need to collab with Johnny FD. Your channel will blow up by doing a video with him. Well, how can I do that? How can I do that? I would like that blow up, guys. And thank you for being with me. Um, yeah, but I'm not that good at cooperation. I've told you that I have some other jobs to do, and I guess I need a producer or what. Um, the color of my nail varnish, I will. Burgundy is the good word, but I will change it tomorrow. My life philosophy: to be brave like Ukraine, and to live this life. I'm afraid I'm not that good. Sometimes it can be bad, but to live the life is my philosophy. And this war inspires it even more, like when you realize that uh, anything can happen any day to you. So brave, uh, do you like ambitious? And I don't lie to myself, but this is not always good to for other people. Like if you like. um, and then when this war is over, why anyone is talking? Well, like because we don't see it. I think will it lead to the World War III? Yes, I think it is already the World War III, and in the idea of Putin, it has already started. Because he disrespects everything in Ukraine and in the world, and he threatens the world, and he frightens the country. He won't give them gas. He will nuke them. Isn't that the sad world war? Um, well, I have started this vlog not at the very first day of the war because I was kind of frightened, but maybe 2 or 3 weeks. You can look it up. I have like 133 videos already, so I have started 133 days ago. Thank you for calling me a good vlogger, and greetings to Britain. And I do hope we will win this war. We must win this war. We are approaching the end of the chat, so I will answer perhaps just a couple of questions. And if you like this video, please let me know, and in your comments leave the ideas for my future videos, as they inspire me a lot. Also like, and I'm very grateful for those of you who want to support and to help my channel grow. And good. Some more questions. I feel that Moldova is next if Russians aren't stopped in Ukraine. It's not only Moldova, but definitely Moldova is under great danger. And it's also Poland, it's also Lithuania, Baltic countries, and the world. And I think that this might be a serious problem. That's why Putin must be stopped. He terrified the world that if something goes wrong, and he will nuke the world. No, he, just like with Ukraine, believe me, we did not do anything wrong. We did not have secret laboratories with weapons. We did not have we did not have like anything NATO bases. NATO was so far away from us, and they still decided to attack us. So that's a problem. Gracias para tus abrazos. Me encanta hablar español, pero solo un poco. Necesito más práctica. Uh, Thank you very much for sharing the vlogs that you like. And thank you for buying me coffees, for becoming my patrons. This is like something I did not expect at all. And this makes me also proud. And thank you for talking about Ukraine in your countries, for not thinking that this war is something normal. Thank you for learning more about Ukraine, because anything you can do, you don't have to be like always sponsors of Ukraine or something, though we need money, we need weapons, we need support of our refugees. But even your interest, even the demonstrations, greetings to Chicago. Chicago is a magical city, I believe. And all of that is so very much important for us. And believe me, there are many things, beautiful things in Ukraine. There are many normal people, and I would like you to never experience this. When you watch your country, you watch the people walking, you can look at, I don't know, fountains, drink some wine, and you feel it's all normal. And then you see a missile flying in your skies, or you hear people in the city next to yours killed in thousands. This is so much abnormal. We did not believe this war is possible because we are normal, because the situations that are happening here, they are totally wrong. And we cannot treat it as something normal. And Russia has to be stopped. Putin has to be stopped. They have to be prosecuted for the crimes that they have committed. And please, in your comments to this live stream, give me some ideas. What are the subjects that interest you? Because I feel that these vlogs are important conversations. They are important for me. Some of you say they are therapeutic. Am I pronouncing the word correctly? But they are. You teach me a lot. I share the things that are important for me, and I'm an average Ukrainian. Maybe sometimes I'm emotional, but you cannot like become normal, stay normal when things like that are happening. But I'm very grateful that you are with me. And I did not live in the countryside, in the city, but my city is not big, and there are lots of countrysides inside of my city. So anyway, I will try to have our next live session sometime soon. And thank you for your comments. Please provide me with the ideas. And also, if you like the things I'm saying, if you like my vlogs, because we're not in Russia and you're not supposed to like them if you don't like them. But if you do like them, like them. Too many words like in one sentence. And please subscribe, because this is important. This helps me build the platform, and it's not just like for fame. So I would like to be a famous YouTuber. Why am I lying, But I think it's important to speak about Ukraine, to let the world know, because for a really long period of time, people knew nothing about Ukraine, and they thought it's a part of Russia, but it's not. It's a very different country, a brave and beautiful country that wants to be a part of the democratic and civilized world. And we are very grateful for your support. Once again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like my channel, share, comment, buy me coffees, but most importantly, do not forget about Ukraine, speak about Ukraine, support Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!